Hi, I'm Travis Schrader, and this is your dorm room news week in review for Journalism 101. In national news, protests continue in Wisconsin over state budget cuts. The recently proposed state budget cuts by Governor Scott Walker will reduce government employees' benefits and cut out collective bargaining for unions in the state. Many protesters of this bill have said it's an anti-union bill that will cut out the power of unions altogether. Wisconsin's current budget deficit is $3.6 billion. On to international news. Unrest continues in Libya after 24 protesters were shot and killed during protests on Thursday. These protests have been spurred by the protests in Tunisia in December and the earlier ones in Egypt. Dictator Colonel Muammar al-Qaddafi has threatened not to back down and is still ruling with iron fist, although most of the eastern half of the country is now ruled by rebels. In Zimbabwe, protests have broken out and 46 people have been arrested for allegedly trying to overthrow the government. These protests were led by prominent activist Mungare Gozai, who is a lecturer at the University of Zimbabwe. In local news, Mayor Jim Gray has a plan for the budget in the city of Lexington. With the new budget plan, he has said there will be more cuts and no layoffs. He is attempting to save $7 million by cutting spending at many city agencies by 4%. The city budget was in July projected that the estimated budget deficit would be $15 million. Originally, the city had planned to tap into its rainy day fund of $5.8 million and sell $4 million of property to help balance the budget, but those plans have been scrapped. In University of Kentucky news, the UK Board of Trustees and the Presidential Search Committee will meet this week. They'll meet to review the search committee's recommendations of who should be president. Now on to sports news. In the world of UK men's basketball, the men's basketball team beat South Carolina Saturday, cruising to victory 90-59. Darius Miller had a career-high 22 points in the game, and the Cats are now in tie for third place in the SEC East. Even though the win was quite a blowout, Coach Cal still took some criticism for not playing some of his bench players towards the end of the game. Coach Calipari responded to his comments by saying he did not play his bench players towards the end because South Carolina was still pressing and felt they couldn't handle the pressure. In NBA news, the NBA All-Star Game and festivities was this weekend. And Saturday night, the headliner slam dunk competition, Blake Griffin took home the top prize after he jumped over a car, successfully dunked the ball into the goal after catching a pass from teammate Baron Davis, who popped out of the sunroof of the car. Blake Griffin brought out all the props, including a car, and was backed by a church choir. In the actual All-Star Game Sunday, the West All-Stars beat the East All-Stars 148-143. Kobe Bryant was the MVP, which makes that his fourth All-Star MVP, which ties up for the most in NBA all-time. In other NBA news, Carmelo Anthony was traded to the New York Knicks after a long, drawn-out trade process. In exchange, the Nuggets get Raymond Felton, Theodore Mozgov, Daniel Gallinari, and Wilson Chandler. The Knicks also received Chauncey Billups, Ronaldo Bulkman, Anthony Carter, Sheldon Williams, and Corey Brewer from the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the Minnesota Timberwolves also received from the Knicks Eddie Curry and Anthony Randolph. Now on to my favorite section of the week in review, weird news. Jim Starr, a disabled man of Dorchester, England, recently had his motorized chair banned from roadways in England because, quote, it was too big for the road. Mr. Starr had manufactured his own chair and had put Caterpillar treads on it instead of regular tires, and, quote, according to police, it moved like a tank. But in Starr's defense, he said it was the only way he could play with his kids at the beach. Right. Another weird news, Edward Hall III, 24, a Columbia researcher, recently forgot his photo ID at John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York City while trying to board a flight to San Francisco. Well, apparently he really needed to catch that flight to San Francisco. So much that he ended up jumping over the counter, hopping on the luggage conveyor, and taking that all the way down to the tarmac, where he was promptly arrested by the authorities. That's all for this week with News and Review, and have a nice day.